So how do you end such a incredible marathon of speakers? And I think it's time that we give a voice to the sheep. And to do that, I'm going to invite a spokesperson for the speech, for the sheep, who is Cynthia Hathaway. She is also the ambassador for Canada for the World Hope Forum and an amazing designer and educator based in the Netherlands, as well as an activist. And her work really is going to uplift us for this final presentation. And I also invite you all to become part of her movement, which is a soft mob movement. And I'm going to be sharing with you a link where you can donate any amount in order to keep her event moving forward. And so with that, I would like to invite Cynthia to close us off for today with the sheep.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you so much. So wonderful to be here. I'm just going to make sure that everything is right. Yes, it is. And let's start. There we go. Can you see everything? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. So wonderful to be here. Thank you, everybody that has been speaking before me and the whole community that has been also watching as well from all over the world, it looks like. Hello, I'm Cynthia Hathaway, and well, how wonderful to be with you all in this woolly space of hope. I'm a wool promoter, an activist focused on bringing to the streets the social, cultural, ecological values of Golden Fleece. Since 2017, I have set up the Wool March Project, and that's a series of soft mob walks, felting workshops, a wool activist blanket collection from community felting workshops. Sorry, I have something in my throat. Must be wool. Just a second. That's better. The design of the Wool Activist Kit, and the underpinning to all these parts of the project is my deep respect for a system that supports many life forms and wool to flourish. That is shepherding and the mobile grazing of indigenous sheep. Another term for it that you might be familiar with is transhumance. It is a global practice of walking from and to pasture and creating pastures in between, and has been around for centuries. In this presentation, I invite you to see this system of sheep, sometimes goats too, as we've seen, and donkeys, even ducks and dogs and their human companions as an intricate and sophisticated learning system to walk more lightly on the planet. And I'm ringing the alarm out now, and with urgency, as this practice is under threat globally from incredibly low prices for wool, as we've already heard, especially if it's dark wool, it's negative sense, industrial and sedentary meat farming, climate change, war, private property, which truncates shepherds' paths, oil-based transport by truck or ship of herds, expensive vaccinations, new relations with the wolf, and the romantic idea of what a shepherd and a sheep are and actually do. Well, okay, it's a rather depressing context, but well, let's not dwell on that any further, but let's celebrate. Celebrate what we can do to support this incredible system of moving around, because wool is us. So what are they doing out there, these shepherds and sheep walking? In a rather dull term, but policymakers love this kind of terminology, they are providing an ecosystem service. As they walk with an expert shepherd, sheep aerate the soil with their little hooves, keeping it loose for carbon sequestration and the absorption of water by the soil. Loosening soils gently and pooping as they go along, seeds, plants, and microorganisms flourish. Seeds hitch a ride in the sheep's wool to be rubbed off somewhere else along the trail. And here's quite a job. German scientists counted 8,000 seeds in just one fleece. Now, what a biodiversity system at work. We can find active herding paths all over the world, and some are designated UNESCO, intangible cultural heritage, as Kavita spoke about earlier, here showing the Canadas Reales in Spain. But we have to acknowledge that these, even though they're cultural heritage practice, we must keep them open and regulated. Walking together in a co-working relationship, these companions are our outdoor classroom. I've never met in one person so much knowledge about various landscapes and landforms, the skies, the weather, animal welfare, including helping in the middle of mountain ranges with birthing, finding natural medications for sheep, and how to make incredible cheese and sausages. They know, and I have to say their sheep do too, where to go, what grows at what altitude, where and when to work to not overgraze. The aim of a shepherd is to lead their sheep in all seasons to the best food for their health and well-being, whilst also providing for themselves beautiful milk that tastes like the land in your mouth. And with happy, healthy sheep, the wool is also the best it can be for the breed at hand. And we can say, in this system, sheep are being sheep. I have to insert these photos of the once stilted shepherds, specifically of the Landes region of France, called a chasse for their stilts. They are my mascots for walking more lightly on the planet. They and their sheep walk with as little impact on the landscape, keeping warm and dry with felted coats from their flock's wool. When they stop for grazing, they keep watch for predators from way up high, whilst their dogs do it from ground level. And if you can believe it, they're also knitting socks up there. This is local production like no other. And some of you might have been lucky to experience the transhumance walk, which is taking sheep from pasture to pasture, passing through villages and cities. Here on the left is D, France, and Madrid, Spain on the right. And these mark calendars by the flow of a sheep river. So this incredible, alive, pulsating, bell-ringing, bawing space of where wool is grown and comes from is time melting. It's where ancient time meets us here and now and stops us in our tracks. We are mesmerized, invigorated, woken up, and so grateful. I have to acknowledge other shepherds along the path I've walked, often hidden, out of sight, out of mind. Wool shepherds of another kind, practicing their own form of regenerative work. These are the producers, recyclers, and upcyclers of global wool in the global South. In this case, it is Hasnain Leilani with his family-owned company, Datini Fibers, an upcycling farm based in Karachi, Pakistan. Here he is in front of a truck load of their post-consumer sweaters from reaching the dump or incineration, and is one of hundreds of trucks ready to be converted into fiber for the spinning industry. They've been doing this for years and years and years and years. Inside, an incredible landscape of wool mountains await, importing annually about 5,000 tons of sweaters and also wool pants and jackets from around the world. They come here, many barely worn or new, and actually often produced here in the first place. They are sorted, tags, zippers, and buttons are removed, and then placed into colored mountains of vibrant colors. And like we've mentioned before with Manteca, these sorters are artisans. They are like a master painter with his palette of wool paints. These experts create the color combination to match the client's desires. Then they are put into a shredder and made into this fiber you see here. For those sweaters that are just too beautiful in design, made by hand or with many colors, Hasnain and his team keep them from the shredder and upcycle them into products such as laptop covers, bags, hats. And you can see this at upcyclingfarm.com. Well, there's so much to say and to stand up for and walk when it comes to celebrating wool. From the beautiful, intelligent, graceful animals that make it, the lands that depend upon them, and to the many shepherds along the wool trail that make it all happen. So with all this on our heels, let's get going and join in to make the fleece golden again. One way I offer is through the Wool Activist Kit, a do-it-together felting kit to join the wool movement. It is a kit to get your hands in the wool, be inspired by woolly stories in a notebook, and felt a wool activist blanket with a personal message. Local wool from shepherds is provided in the kit for European customers, and we encourage others to find a local shepherd, say hello, and buy some of their wool. When the blanket is sent back to the Wool March team, it is used in the wool marches worn by sheep and/or human. And the felting frenzy has begun with makers from all over the world doing their part. The kit is bringing so many to the felting table, from teachers and students of textile, cultural heritage and environmental studies, veterinarian students, biologists, ecofeminists, and animal welfare advocates. To get young people to the wool is vital to keep their enthusiasm going and to actually know where wool comes from. It's just like milk. A lot of young people think it comes from a supermarket. Wool is a connective fiber. When I've used the kit in residential areas, the diversity of cultural backgrounds present is beautiful and powerful. It creates community as tips on felting, how to wash wool in a river or a bucket, how to fluff wool, how and what to sing when rolling. All of these stories flow out of the wool. These stories in many languages are collected and embroidered as part of the Wool Activist blanket collection. Here are some of the blankets for the first part of the collection, and it is growing. Wool, or walk with us. Wool remains wool, whether new or recycled in Urdu. So that's Hasnain Leilani's contribution to the Wool March. Wool in English, Turkish, French, German, Spanish, Dutch, Urdu, Croatian, and Hungarian. Work with the abilities of sheep. It's never cold with wool in Croatian. No more wheels to move herds. Walk lighter over the planet in Spanish. Negative value for wool? No. To shear a sheep costs more than what is given for its wool in Dutch. Listen to wool in Spanish and follow the wool. Down with microfibers, up with natural fibers. Turn down the heat and put on a sweater. Stand out with wool. Wool is different from the rest. And with many sheep fittings, with shepherds, we get ready to start walking. Can't tell you how many times I've adjusted the pattern to a sheep's body. The blankets and stories get legs, literally, and flow through streets in one big wool river, with public joining in to follow local sheep, their shepherds, and dogs. And I would say this is one of the key moments in the march. It just naturally happens, a transfer between sheep and human, blanketed in their wool, off we go as one herd.
So we are soon to be connecting rural with urban and through walking together. Time is coming together on this place as we are bringing back a commoning act, walking with herds from pasture to pasture. So we're walking these ancient trails of sheep and shepherd. We will pass de Heuvel by the Goede Herder Kerk and also close to the Wilhelmina Park. And these are where all these herd corridors came together as a resting place and watering hole of sheep. And it's from these triangular spots throughout the city that these small clusters of farms actually started to grow together, and that started Tilburg. So we can really thank the sheep. practice that is all over the world. It brings sheep and ourselves to pasture, walking lightly with little hooves, aerating soils as we pass over lands.
Well,
And just to let you know that Wool March Tilburg is choreographed so that we walk past these monuments. Like Tilburg is definitely, as many cities are in the Netherlands, based in a very rich textile history and industry. So the sheep walk by old weaver houses. They are walking over paths that they actually made, which are now paved over. And we pass old factories, such as the Abbé that was mentioned by Raina, that's now a shopping mall. So it's really these sheep that bring history alive again to say we are here, we continue to be here, and we will definitely always be here. And here are some scenes from last year's March. It's growing. Yep. Through rain or shine, we walk. And I just wanted to mention that we don't ask permission to do this. We just go. There's no need to ask for something that is an ancient right. And also, why are we not just walking on the streets with sheep? So I invite you to please join us as we walk to get wool into the world. In late 2026, we are walking to Brussels to the EU Parliament as a multi-sheep, shepherd, and public communication system. We are walking from Texel Island off the northern coast of the Netherlands in a rally walk over the border to meet Belgian shepherds and flocks and to continue to Brussels. If the EU aims to be climate neutral by 2050, natural fibers must be on the table. And those coming from shepherding definitely must be. And we're working on getting sheep back into all meadows in the world, including this one. This is Sheep Meadow of Central Park, New York. And they were there, 200 pedigree Southdown sheep for 70 years, designed into the park by Olmsted and Vaux in 1864. The Tavern on the Green, you might know, which is a famous restaurant, was the original stable for the sheep and shepherd. But no sign of them today. That's Sheep Meadow on the left. And yet they could be partners with the meadow's restoration when it is closed off to public in the winter. So let's bring them back, heal the meadow, and make blankets from their wool for summer picnickers. So here's to shepherds everywhere along the trail who remind us we've always been here. We just have to walk together again.
Cynthia, you know that people are also trying to work on future march from the outskirts of Rome to the Vatican. I think that would be perfect for Easter. Thank you so much for everything you do and the way you are handling this very big challenge in your life. You are dedicated to this, and we are super proud of you and whatever you achieved. We want to be part of it as World Hope Forum, every step of every sheep.